off a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit up by, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor. Good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor. It is way too early on a Sunday morning, but since it's our first Sunday in a while with no football, I figured the least we could do is do some NBA videos. This is going to be our Fanduel and Draftkings NBA slate for Sunday, January 26th. 6-game slate, starts about an hour earlier than normal, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. So we're going to go over all of that. First things first, thank you. A big cheers to all of you. You're damn right it's coffee and Bailey's when it's 5:30, 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Cheers to all of you. Thank you for all your support. I truly do appreciate you all. Thank you. It's very humbling that you all make me a part of your day every day. I truly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the team. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Get access to all of our content. I will also have a fantasy draft NBA video out for today as well. Of course, the Super Bowl, and then it's just NBA until, baseball, probably some golf. I don't know. Haven't figured out what we're going to do the rest of the year just yet. Also, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section. You qualify for our weekly PayPal giveaway. It's a $25 PayPal giveaway sponsored by Draft Dashboard. We announce that winner tomorrow morning. Draft Dashboard's where we're going over all the usage, stats, value, points per minute, points per dollar, hit percentage, DVP, home, away, pace, over, under, and you can get access to my player pool. You can use it in the lineup optimizer, the cash game optimizer for all major sports, hockey, baseball, NBA, NFL, player pools, and cheat sheets set every single day for that, whether there is a video or not. You can try this by clicking that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. So let's just get right into it. At point guard, I do like Dame a lot. Now, CJ McCollum should be back, so it will hurt his usage a little bit. But he's been on an absolute tear. The Pacers are going to be without Malcolm Brogdon. They're 9th against point guards, but they actually struggle against good scoring point guards. They do really well against Indiana, even though Indiana always plays at a slow pace for, forever. But I do like Damian Lillard. But Trae Young is just a little cheaper. Now on FanDuel, Lillard's 9.7 and Young is 9.6. But on DraftKings, Trae Young's 9.5 and Dame is 10.4. So I'll take Trae Young on DraftKings. Washington 23rd against opposing point guards, 9.6 and 9.5. Highest total on the slate at 240.5. Now I will stress this. It's very interesting. Washington, not very good defensively. Guards usually have a field day against Washington. Trae Young in his last 5 has nothing over 34. So it is interesting how this matchup seems to sort of be his kryptonite a little bit. But, of course, he's got the 60-point upside in a good matchup. Both teams play at a nice pace. I do like Trae Young a lot tonight. Next, Kemba Walker. You've got Jaylen Brown questionable. You've got Marcus Smart questionable. He'll probably play with that hand. Jason Tatum, etc. So a lot of that usage could be right back on to Kemba Walker. He put up a 61 in similar situation the other day. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. As soon as I know, I have it up there on my Twitter feed, and sometimes it comes in like crazy, just tons of information at once. So you just kind of got to scroll through and make sure you get all the news that you can get. 7-6 on FanDuel, 7-9 on DraftKings. New Orleans 27th against opposing point guards. We know that New Orleans plays at a nice fast pace, so it's a paced up game for Boston. A 48 and a 36 in his last couple of games against New Orleans. I think he's in a smash spot with 50, 60 point upside under 8K. You've got to like Kemba Walker. Next, Elf Payton against Brooklyn. Brooklyn allowing the 3rd most fantasy points in the league to opposing point guards. Brooklyn is also on a back-to-back. Elf is 5-8 on FanDuel, 5-5 on DraftKings. He's been consistent in the 4 straight games of 34 or more. 34, 29, and 2 of his last 3 against Brooklyn. I think it's a good spot for Elf Payton. I like him against a tired Brooklyn team tonight. And for some value, we just talked about it. No Malcolm Brogdon for the Pacers. TJ McConnell has been starting. They started him over Aaron Holiday, which I thought was encouraging. They're both fine value plays. You got McConnell at 4.6 on FanDuel, Aaron Holiday at 4.1. McConnell's 5K on DraftKings, Holiday's 4.5. Portland's 22nd against opposing point guards. McConnell, a nice history too against Portland. In his last 4, nothing less than a 20. He's got a 28, a 33, a 26 in that time frame. His last 3 games have all been 30 and above with the 42 mixed in there. I like him. I like TJ McConnell tonight as well. Let's go to shooting guards. I need a drink. So, at shooting guard, at the top, Devin Booker against Memphis. Memphis, 26th against opposing shooting guards. He's 8.8 on FanDuel, 8.1 on DraftKings, a 49 and a 37 his last 2 games out against Memphis. Paced up slightly for Phoenix as well. Like I said, he just put up a 49 against Memphis earlier this year, 52 in his last game. Now, Devin Booker, of course, he can be frustrating because you look at his last 5 games. He's got a 67, a 52, a 48, but he's also got a 22 sprinkled in there. That's the problem with Devin Booker, but I do like him in that matchup tonight against Memphis. Right below that, against Atlanta, Bradley Beal, 8.3 on FanDuel, 8.2 on DraftKings. Atlanta allowing the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing shooting guards. He's got 41, a 41, a 48, and a 57 in his last 4 against Atlanta. 57 and a 47 in his last couple of games. He's starting to really pick it up there for Washington. Love Bradley Beal. Think he's a little bit underpriced in that matchup against Atlanta. Next, for the Clippers, Lou Williams. 6.1 on FanDuel is just too cheap. They continuously underprice him on FanDuel, and then he's a bit overpriced on DraftKings at 7.4. Again, probably no Patrick Beverley tonight, no Paul George, so it's going to be extra usage, extra scoring, etc. for Lou Williams. A 27, a 37, and a 21 in his last 3 against Orlando. In his previous 2 games after that, he had a 47 as well. We know about the 50-point upside. I do like some Lou Williams. We're going to keep a close eye on Marcus Smart. If Jaylen Brown does indeed miss again for Boston and he starts, of course, he's in play against New Orleans at 5.8 there as well. Down here for some value. We talked about it before the last slate, and he did exactly what we thought he would do. That's Jeremy Lamb. He's 4,400 on both sites. He has legit, 35, 40-point upside. He put up a 33 in that last game, kind of bounced out of his funk. A 29 and a 24 his last 2 games against Portland. Portland 19th against opposing shooting guards. I think he's a nice value play. Keeping on guys like Gary Trent Jr. if you're looking for some tournament sleepers down here. The Knicks have been giving Damian Dotson some minutes, which is frustrating, but he's got over 20 in 3 straight games, playing 27 minutes in each of the last 2. So there's some value to be had there as well. Let's go to small forwards. At small forward, the weakest position of the day. That's what she said. Whatever. Like Ingram, it's just with Zion now starting to kind of steal the show in New Orleans. It's not that same kind of usage for Ingram, so I still think he's a bit overpriced. But Kelly Oubre, 6.7 on FanDuel, 6.3 on DraftKings. Memphis 13th against opposing small forwards, a 43 and a 35 in his last 2 games against Memphis. Another guy with legit 50-point upside. He just put up a 45 the other night. Memphis and that fast pace. I think Kelly Oubre with 50-point upside there, under 6K, near 6K on DraftKings too. One of the few players who's a better value on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel. I like Kelly Oubre Jr. a lot tonight. Next, especially if Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, etc. are out, it's Gordon Hayward. I just paired him and Kemba Walker in the last game, and they put up over 100 points combined for me. He put up a 44 his last game out, a 35 his last time out against New Orleans. New Orleans is 25th against opposing small forwards. He's 6K on FanDuel, 7.3 on DraftKings. You can see it's a drastic change. On FanDuel, he has a 64% chance of hitting value at that price, but on DraftKings, only a 39% chance of hitting value, so certainly something to think about there. TJ Warren's been red hot the last couple of games. I'm just nervous as hell. Can he keep doing it for a 3rd straight game? Now, in 4 of his last 5, he has over 30. 3 of those games, he has at least a 40. He has a 40, a 42, and a 56 in his last game out. His last game out against Portland, he put up a 36. I do like TJ Warren, but I also like Marcus Morris against Brooklyn. I like big men against Brooklyn. It's a back-to-back for Brooklyn. Now, against small forwards, they're 3rd in the league, which is actually really, really good for Brooklyn. He's 5'6" on Fanduel, 5'9" on DraftKings, a 31 and a 34 in his last 2 games out against Brooklyn. I think Marcus Morris's price is fair. I like his price there. And some value guys down here. Trevor Ariza, he's going to start for Portland. He played 35 minutes in his season debut for Portland. In 35 minutes, he put up a 37 on FanDuel. He's still 4-1 on FanDuel. It's too cheap. 5K on DraftKings. Indiana is second against opposing small forwards. He put up a 29 his last time out against Indiana. I think it's a free square on FanDuel. I really do at 4-1. I just don't see how you can avoid that there. 5K on DraftKings is meh. And then another guy, Cam Reddish. Now, this guy's real hit or miss. Of course, he's a young player. He's going to battle inconsistencies. Washington 18th against opposing small forwards. He put up a 28 his last time out against Washington. He's 4K on FanDuel, 4-5 on DraftKings. Just look at his last 5 games. He's got a 45, a 32, and a 27, which you will absolutely take at 4K and 4-5. But he's also got an 11 or a 19. So he's a tournament play only. But if he gets you a 45 at 4-5, you just got 10x. And you're in a great, great spot. So I do think Cam Reddish certainly has some value. A guy like Joe Harris down here at 3.9 seems a bit cheap for me. DeAndre Hunter's at 3.8. He's going to play 30-plus minutes. Again, those 2 young guys for Atlanta are boom or bust. Title of their sex tape. But it is something to keep an eye on. I love anytime you're going to get a guy that plays 30-plus minutes, you got to consider him under 4K. Wilson Chandler, another guy who's, playing big minutes now. For Brooklyn, he could also be another value guy you go to in tournaments, probably widely overlooked, not a lot of ownership. There. Power forward, Kawhi Leonard, especially with no Paul George. It's not a back-to-back. I don't think it's macrame day with his mom, so he should play. Now, you never know with Kawhi, but he should play. It is a road game, which makes you concerned that he'll just sit it out, so it's something to keep an eye on. But if he does play, he's on a nice roll. The extra usage with no Paul George, he's clearly the focal point of the offense. His last 3 games that he's played, 67, 66, and a 68. This game before that was a 50, so he's on a really nice roll. 10-2 on both sides. I like Kawhi Leonard. A 50 and a 55 in 2 of his last 3 against Orlando. Orlando is 8th against small forwards, power forwards. He's going to play a lot of the 3, the 4. Kawhi Leonard could play every position on the court. Only thing he really can't do tonight is probably cover Vooch. Next, John Collins against Washington. Put up a 46 not too long ago here against Washington. He's got 60-point upside, but he's also kind of got that meddling high 20s, mid 30s type thing as well. You can see in his last 5 games, 3 games in the mid 30s, then he has a game in the 60s and a game in the 20s. Wildly inconsistent, but Washington 18th against opposing power forwards. He's 7-7 on FanDuel, 8K on DraftKings, the highest game total, the highest Vegas total on the slate. I like some John Collins. I also do like Julius Randle against Brooklyn. I like big men against Brooklyn. He's 7-6 on both sides. Brooklyn is 3rd against power forwards, like we talked about. One of the worst teams in the league against the center position. Julius Randle will play the 5 as well. And again, Brooklyn on a back-to-back, so I do think Julius Randle has some value there. Same with Jaren Jackson Jr. I could certainly get to that as well. Aaron Gordon, super cheap at 5-6 against the Clippers. They're 26th against opposing power forwards. I could go there. Of course, he may see some Kawhi Leonard defense, making his night a bit more difficult. Down here for some value, Davis Bertans, 4.8 on FanDuel, 5.2 on DraftKings. Atlanta, 26th against power forwards. He's got 30, 40-point upside. He's still coming off the bench, but his minutes are ramping up back to the high 20s and low 30s. A 36 and a 25 in his last 2 games. He put up a 24 his last time out against Atlanta. Like that price. I like the upside. I think Davis Bertans is in a good spot. Another young player that I like tonight against a Phoenix front court that is banged up. Should have no Aaron Baines still, no Frank Kaminsky, so they're going to see that Dario Saric defense. DeAndre Ayton, who's not that great of a defender, certainly getting better, certainly making strides this year. But Brandon Clark, off the bench, he always plays in those mid-20s, 22 to 27 minutes, but he's got 35-point upside there. He's 4-5 on FanDuel, 4-7 on DraftKings, a 42, a 28, and a 21 in his last 3 against Phoenix. 3 of his last 5 games, he has at least a 25, and then those other games, he's in the teens, the low teens, 12 and 13. So certainly some risk there, but I like the upside at the price. For Brandon Clark, we talked about Dario Saric. We talked about him in the last video too. Now he can go out and get you an 11 like he just did a couple of games ago, but with all the injuries in Phoenix up front, he's seeing the minutes. He played 33 minutes his last game. He put up a 28. He's 3-6 on FanDuel, 4-1 on DraftKings. Memphis, 27th against opposing power forwards. His last game against Memphis was a dud where he only put up a 6, but the previous 4, 36, 23, 24. He's priced super low. Could be another tournament boom or bust type guy for you tonight as well. And let's go to centers. At center, Whiteside against the Pacers, of course. He's 9-3 and 8-3. I do like Whiteside. In his last 4 against the Pacers, 46, 45, 35, and a 38. But how about Vooch against the Clippers? Who do the Clippers have that's going to guard Vooch? Harrell off the bench, undersized. Zubats, no chance. Patrick Patterson, don't think so. Vooch is 8-5 on both sides. The Clippers are 17th against opposing centers. In his last 5 against the Clippers, only 1 game under 40. He's got a 49 in that time frame, a 48, a 60. I like Vooch tonight against the Clippers. Right below that, in that paced-up game against Memphis, I like DeAndre Ayton, 7-8 on Fanduel, 7-5 on Draftkings. Memphis is 19th against opposing centers, put up a 41 his last time out against Memphis, 50-point upside for Ayton. We all know that. Then down here, look, we're going to keep talking about it while his price is at this price range, and he can either let you down like he did the last game with a 19, or he can go off for a 35 or a 40. It's Miles Turner. He's 5K on Fanduel, 4-9 on Draftkings. The Blazers, 18th against opposing centers. His last 2 games against Portland, a 34 and a 46. Miles Turner is going to get a 45, 50-point game soon. It's just going to happen. It'll probably happen when we all don't play him because he's an asshole like that. He is a lifelong window licker. He's a very frustrating player, but when you have 50-point upside at 5K and you're going to start, etc., got to consider Miles Turner against Portland. And one value guy that I am keeping my eye on, I do think Thomas Bryant is getting due for that breakout type game. Now, they've been bringing him off the bench, starting Jan Mahimi, so his minutes have been in the high teens, low 20s. But if he gets rolling, Thomas Bryant can put up big numbers. He can score in the 50s. Atlanta, 21st against opposing centers. He's 4-5 on FanDuel, 4-3 on DraftKings. Just to kind of give you an example, in his last 4 games against Atlanta, here's how it's gone. A 34, absolutely, we'll take it. An 11, go fuck yourself. A 47, holy shit, I hope I played him. And then a 12, go fuck yourself again. That's what we're dealing with Thomas Bryant, but I do think he's got some big tournament upside tonight. So that's our look at each position. Again, you can get access to all the research, the stats, the info, and my player pool to use in the optimizers, etc. Just simply compare your player pool to mine. You can click that link in the video description below. Try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. When you do, how you find my player pool is you simply click that Watch Players tab over here on the left or from your home screen, and that'll be your watched players, obviously, players that you're watching for the slate. When you do that, you'll see a blue box at the top that says Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks. You click that box. I mean, that's what she's hoping you do. If you can find it, huh? Don't be a selfish lover, boys. Don't be a selfish lover. Guys and gals. I mean, gals can be looking for the box too, of course. It's 2020, baby. That'll highlight my player pool, and it'll also show you the last time I updated it with a timestamp right here as well. Then you can use it in the lineup optimizer. We'll generate a couple sample lineups. Nothing crazy here. Obviously, there's quite a ways, almost 10 hours until lock. If you're doing cash games, once their projected ownership comes out, they set you up with a cash game optimizer as well. It's been very successful this year. Really enjoy that as well. So this early look here on FanDuel, we've got TJ McConnell, Trae Young, Bradley Beal, Lou Williams, Gordon Hayward, Marcus Morris, John Collins, Dario Saric, Nikolai Vucevic. I used all of our salary. I think that's a solid lineup. Again, just kind of an early example. I wouldn't just lock it in. Trust me, there's people who just turn this show on and then they just look at this sample lineup at the end and play it. I don't get it, but to each their own. That's what they want to do. I think it's dumber than shit, but that's what happens. Here on DraftKings, Booker, Lamb, Beal, Collins, Turner, Elf Payton, Oubre, Thomas Bryant. I think that's all right. Now, if you don't trust Thomas Bryant, I get it. We can get some savings here from John Collins at 8K. It's a little expensive. We can go to Trevor Ariza at 5K. Don't have an issue with that. Then we can upgrade Thomas Bryant here to anything you want. Ayton, Randall, Tatum. I think all of that's fine. Again, click the link. Try it for 30 days for $1. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Be part of our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. We will announce that winner tomorrow. I appreciate you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I know it's the first Sunday without football, so we're going to get through it. So hopefully this brightens your day just a little bit. I love you all. Appreciate all the support. Cheers to you. May the fantasy gods be with you. Be sure to check out our fantasy draft video today too. I'll have a quick 5 core for fantasy draft for you no rake DFSers as well. That will be out here shortly. Thank you all again so much. Goodbye, folks.